Have you ever sat alone in your car after a long day, staring at the steering wheel and wondering, is this really my life now? Maybe the bills keep piling up. Maybe the marriage feels colder than it used to. Maybe you pray, but the silence feels heavier than the words you speak. If that's you, I want you to know. You're not broken. You're not forgotten. What you're feeling is not the end of your story. In fact, it might just be the very beginning. Because sometimes, before God rebuilds you, He first allows the old walls to fall. And yes, it feels like collapse. But what if collapse is not punishment? What if it's preparation? In this video, I want to walk with you, one step at a time, through the shadows and into the light. And this message, it's for you, personally. Breaking free from the old chains. Why your collapse is not the end. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever felt like the weight you're carrying is just too much? Like no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to breathe freely anymore? Maybe it's the debt that keeps you up at night. Maybe it's that job that drains the life out of you but doesn't even pay enough. Or maybe it's the quiet heartbreak of a marriage that feels more like two roommates than two lovers. I've talked with people who describe this moment so clearly. One woman told me she would park her car outside her house every evening, sit in the driver's seat, and cry. Because stepping inside meant facing the same heavy silence again. Have you ever had a moment like that? Here's the mistake so many of us make. We think that heaviness means we're broken. We think silence from heaven means God has abandoned us. But friend, that weight is not proof you're finished. It's a signal that your soul is about to be reset. Think of it this way. When an old house is falling apart, nobody tries to decorate it. They tear it down so a stronger one can rise in its place. The collapse isn't punishment, it's preparation. The old walls have to fall before the new foundation can hold. I remember meeting a man who had lost his job of 20 years. At first, he thought it was the end. He kept saying, "I'm too old to start over." But here's what happened. Within 6 months, he started a small repair business out of his garage. Now he's earning more than he did at the company that laid him off. What felt like punishment was really a reset. One that opened the door to a calling he didn't even know he had. But here's where it gets even deeper. The struggles that rise up during collapse aren't random. They're the shadows we've tried to outrun. Old wounds, family baggage, habits we never faced. And the truth is, shadows don't disappear when you ignore them. They grow louder. So let me ask you, what's the wound you've been hiding for years? Maybe it's anger you never voiced. Maybe it's a secret addiction. Maybe it's the shame of something you thought was unforgivable. Friend, when these things rise to the surface, it's not to destroy you, it's to free you. Think of it like a pressure cooker. If you don't release the steam, it explodes. Collapse is the steam being let out so you can finally breathe. And sometimes, the chains aren't even yours alone. They've been passed down through generations. Your father carried silence. Your mother carried fear. And somehow, those same chains landed on your shoulders. But hear me, you are not cursed. You are chosen to be the one who breaks it. You are the one who gets to say, "This ends with me." The biggest mistake people make here is believing they have to carry the pain forever. Like endurance is the same as destiny. But no, the lesson is simple. Collapse is not the end. Collapse is the sacred space where heaven clears out what cannot follow you into your future. So if your life feels like it's falling apart, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are being prepared. And if you're listening to this right now, It's not by accident. It's a reminder that even in the rubble, there's a blueprint for something greater. Now, once you begin to see collapse as preparation, the next question is, what do you do with it? How do you step forward when everything feels unfamiliar? That's where we move next, into the daily practices and perspective shifts that help you rise as a new creation. Rising as the new creation. How to live as light in a dark world. When life starts to collapse, it can feel confusing. You lose sleep. You have strange dreams. Things that used to excite you, parties, gossip, even some friendships, suddenly feel empty. And maybe you're asking yourself, what's wrong with me? But let me reassure you, nothing is wrong with you. What you're experiencing is not failure, it's activation. Think of your life like a smartphone. When the software updates, it lags, it restarts. Sometimes it even looks like it's frozen. But once the update is complete, everything runs smoother, faster, better. That's you right now. You're being upgraded. I know someone who told me he couldn't stop waking up at 3 a.m. Heart racing, feeling unsettled. He thought something was broken inside. But over time, he realized those quiet hours became the place where he started journaling, praying, and receiving clarity about his next step. The weird wasn't brokenness, it was breakthrough. Now here's the thing. Rising as the new creation isn't just about surviving the upgrade. It's about learning how to carry the light once it's turned on. And for that, you don't need complicated rituals. You just need small, consistent practices that anchor you when the world feels heavy. Let me share 3 that anyone can do. Morning declaration. Start your day by speaking one simple truth out loud. It could be, I am chosen for more, or peace walks with me today. It may feel awkward at first, but words shape atmosphere. What you declare sets the tone for your day. Breathing reset. Whenever fear creeps in, pause for just 2 minutes. Inhale slowly. Hold. Exhale fully. It's like hitting the reset button on your nervous system. One man told me this habit kept him from spiraling into panic every time his phone buzzed with another bill reminder. Release ritual. At night, write down one thing you need to let go of. Fear, anger, regret. Then physically tear up that paper. It's simple, almost childlike, but powerful. Because your body participates in the letting go, not just your mind. I can't promise these practices will erase every problem, but I can promise they'll remind you of who you are becoming, someone strong enough to bring peace into the chaos around you. And yes, transformation does come with a cost. Some friendships will fade, some habits won't fit anymore. You might even lose a job or a relationship. It hurts, like a snake shedding its old skin. But here's the truth. Anything that leaves now is only leaving because it cannot walk with you into your new destiny. Think about our world right now. Economic uncertainty, negative news cycles, families breaking under pressure. It's easy to feel like everything is falling apart. But chosen one, you are not here just to survive the collapse. You are here to be the solution inside it. I know a woman who carried her quiet peace into her workplace. She didn't preach, she didn't argue. She just stayed calm in the storm. Over time, her coworkers started to ask, "Why do you have so much peace?" And one by one, they began to change too. That's what it means to live as light in a dark world. So let me leave you with this. You don't have to wait for a miracle. You are the miracle. If you're still here, still listening, it's not by accident. It's proof. You are chosen to rise. And as we step into the next part of this journey, I want to show you how to carry this light further, not just for yourself, but for the people whose lives are waiting to be touched by your transformation. Before we end, I want you to pause and take this in. If your world feels heavy right now, it doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're being prepared for something new. You are not alone in this. There are countless others walking through the same shadows, quietly wondering if they'll ever make it through. And that's why I share these messages. Not because I have it all figured out, but because I believe none of us should walk this road in silence. If this video spoke to you, maybe it's exactly the reminder someone else in your life is waiting for. So here's my gentle request. If a name comes to mind right now, maybe a friend who's struggling, or a family member carrying hidden weight, send this to them. Not as advice, not as a lecture, but as a gift of hope. Sometimes the smallest act of sharing can spark the biggest change. And if you'd like to walk this journey together, you can subscribe here. That way, whenever new messages come, you won't have to search for encouragement. It will come find you. Until then, hold on. You're not just surviving, you're rising.